In this video, I'm going to show you how you can set up n8n completely for free on your local machine using Docker. So the prerequisite here is, of course, you need to install Docker Desktop on your machine. If you haven't installed Docker yet, so you can head over to Docker Desktop. And then from the left-hand side, you can go into Setup, Install, and then choose your operating system. It should be very straightforward. So for me, I'm on Windows. So you can click on this and you can download Docker Desktop for Windows and then run through the installation steps. It should be very straightforward and easy. You may need to restart your computer after the installation is complete. Also, if you're on Windows, you may need to enable virtualization, and that will need to be done through your BIOS setup. So for whatever motherboard you have, you can Google or YouTube how to enable virtualization for this particular motherboard. So basically, you restart your computer, you enter your BIOS, you enable virtualization, and then Docker Desktop will start working properly. It's a very easy process. It should be easy and very straightforward to follow. Okay, once Docker is installed, you can open Docker Desktop. You don't need to create any sign-in or sign-up credentials because Docker runs perfectly without them. But if you want to create an account with Docker, you can, but it's not necessary. Now, in order to run n8n, we need to download the image from Docker Hub first. So we will click on Images. This will show you a list of any images you already have. We are going to search for the n8n image. So we're going to click search and then type n8n. And then this is the one we are interested in. You can click pull over here. So it's going to basically download the image for the n8n instance that we're going to set up after this. So we click on pull in progress, and wait for that to complete. Once the n8n image has been pulled, you're going to see it in the list over here. And now what we're basically going to do is we're going to run a container from this image. So basically the n8n application right now is not accessible because we don't have a running container. So from one image you can spin up or run multiple containers, and then those containers are the ones that actually make the application accessible. So you can think of the image as just a blueprint that contains all the settings and environments or when a container is created from that image. So in order to start a container, we're going to click on the run sign over here. And then it's going to say run a new container, and then there are some optional settings. Now this is the important part here. So we can give our container a name, any name. I'm just going to call it n8n local. Host port, this is important. Make sure to put 5678 over here. And now the most important bit is the volumes. So what the volume actually does is it's going to persist and save all of the workflows and all of the work that we're going to eventually do in n8n. It's going to actually save it. So in case we lose this container, our container shuts down or gets removed for whatever reason, if we don't have a volume set up, all of our data is going to get lost with it. So in order to protect ourselves, we are going to create a volume. Now this volume can be stored anywhere in your computer on your local machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder in my C drive called Docker volumes. So new folder, Docker-volumes. And then inside this, I'm going to create a new folder called n8n. So this is where I want all my n8n volumes to be stored. Now in host path, we're going to click this and then select the new folder that we just created. So C drive, Docker volumes, n8n. Select folder. Now the container path. This is the important one, so I'll explain this in a second. So we do /home/node/.n8n. So this path is actually going to be inside the container. So when we click run and the container actually starts, it's going to save all of our data and everything inside this path. So what this is going to do is it's going to copy everything from the container path right into our local machine and local directory. Okay. Next, we will set up some environment variables which are useful. This is a bit tedious, but bear with me. So I've added these 3 environment variables, which are basically going to be injected inside the container when the container is launched. So you can take a screenshot of this and add these values. Just make a note of them because you will need similar values if you want to restart your container in case you lose anything. So once this is done, we're going to click run. And now under our container section, we can see that the container is being created from our image. And if I just click back over here and we're on the images, if we click containers, we can now see the container name n8n_local. That's our container ID. That's the image from which this container was created from. And then these are the ports that it's running on. So now you can click this one and it will open this in a new window. Or you can just visit localhost 5678 from your browser. Okay, so now we have successfully installed n8n on our local machine, and we've also set up a Docker volume. So if you head over to your C drive, Docker volumes, and n8n, so now you can see the volume information in here. So now this means that our data is going to be persisted in our n8n instance from here onwards. So you can enter an email, first name, last name, and password to create your admin account, and click next once that's done. Then you can customize n8n if you want, but I'm just going to go get started. And then you can get the paid features for free by entering your email, and then send me a free license key. So your license key should be on the way. You can enter your license key from the bottom left, click the 3 dots, settings, and enter activation key. So you can grab that from your email and enter that over here and click activate. Okay, now we are on the community edition. So from here, you can also set up your dark mode if you like. You can go into personal, theme, click on dark theme, and save. Now let's click back. So this is our personal n8n dashboard. Everything is running. And now I want to show you how the persistence of the volumes work. So let's say that let's try this project. So this is an initial workflow. We're just going to leave it as it is, and we're going to go back to personal. We're going to save it. So now we have one in our list. So let's create a couple more new workflows, and let's say we call this one testing 1. Save that, go back into our dashboard, and let's create another one. Testing 2. Save that. And let's say, for example, we have these 3 very large projects that we've been working on very hard for, and then we're just testing things out. And then suddenly our container dies or something happens, and then we lose our instance. So in order to simulate that, I'm going to show that to you. So I'm going to head back to Docker, containers. We have our container running. If I stop the container and then delete it, technically, once we delete this, we should lose everything that we've done so far. because we created a container, we added this information in, and then we deleted it. But because of the volumes, this data should always be persisted until and unless we delete our volumes from our C drive. Okay, so let's just delete this container forever. Now the container is gone. Now we can spin up another container from our image. Because we have the blueprint, we can spin up another container. But note, if we don't specify the volume now, it's going to spin up a brand new container, which is not going to have all the data we persisted. So when we do this a second time, let's say we do n8n local again, host port 5678, and now the host path, we specify the same one as we did before, which is this one, C docker volumes n8n, select folder. The container path is going to be the same, home node.n8n, and then we'll painstakingly add the environment variables again. Okay, so now when we run this container, it's going to actually check this volume. If there is any data inside this volume, which for us it is, it's going to copy that and it's going to relaunch the container from this data. If, however, there's nothing in here, then it's going to reset the volume again. It's going to set up everything again from fresh, like the first time. So now let's run our new container and see if we have successfully retained our data from before. So now if I refresh our n8n workflow, and as you can see, we have all of our projects set up here. So the volume has been persisted and we have retained all of our data. So that is how you set up n8n using Docker with volumes on your local machine. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.